If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome you all to this new lecture in GATE Power System series. So today again we will be solving 5 questions starting from question number 81, 82, 83, 84 and then up to 85. Okay, then let's try to solve these questions. Okay, in question number 81, consider a power system with 3 identical generators. The transmission losses are negligible. One generator has a speed governor which maintains its speed constant. So speed is constant means its frequency, output frequency will be always constant. So it cannot change. For generator 1, you cannot change the frequency. Okay, and it is a power system, so all are interconnected at the rated value. While the other generator G2, G3 has a governor drop of 5%, governor with a droop of 5%. That means, droop of 5% means if you increase the output, there will be a drop of 5% in the frequency or in the speed. If the load of the system is increased, then in steady state what will happen? Now one thing you have to understand, because it is interconnected, so the frequency should not change. All 3 should have same frequency. Now if you see generator 1, there cannot be change in frequency in generator 1. Okay, that means the frequency should be kept constant. Because if you allow these droop characteristics to happen, if you change anything in G2, G3, there will be change in frequency because there is a droop characteristics of 5%. So if you change any load of G2, G3, so there will be a change in frequency. But it cannot be allowed because it is interconnected, then it will be out of synchronism. So in case of G1, there should be no change in frequency. So what is the option? So you cannot increase the load of G2, G3. Because if you increase, there will be change in frequency which is not allowed because it is interconnected with G1. So the idea is you increase the load of G1. So if you increase the load of G1, keeping these two constant, then frequency will be remain at same position and all will be synchronized. So obviously the generation of G1 will alone increased so that the frequency remains constant while the generation G2, G3 is unchanged. Because any change in G2, G3 will affect the change in frequency. So if because of these droop characteristics means if you increase this one, if you increase this output, your frequency will drop or your speed will drop. This is the droop characteristic. This is 5% drop will be there. So in case of G2, G3, you cannot change it because if you change it, then frequency will change, which is not allowed because because of G1 it is at flat. So you cannot go that way because all should be at same line. Suppose generally what happens, all generators have droop characteristics, so all should maintain at same frequency. This is the frequency they all should maintain. So this will take this much, this will take this much, this will take this much. This much load will be taken by, suppose it is G1, it is G2, it is G3. It was the normally it happens, but here as G1 is fixed, G1 is flat, it cannot change. So all should at same frequency means this frequency should be maintained because G1 is not coming down. So you cannot come at any position here because you will not have G1 in that case. So you have to fix this G2, G3, you cannot change here. So G1 will change. So that is option B. Now if you come to 82, the incremental cost in some appropriate unit of a power plant is IC1, IC2, IC3. Be careful about IC3. IC3 is constant, flat. So whatever power you take from IC3, its charge is always 30 rupees per hour. So it will not change. Whereas P1 per megawatt hour actually, where P1 is the power in megawatt generated by IC by unit I1 to 3. If you change this 1 and 2 output, this cost is changing. But here whatever output you take, it will be always flat charge, 30 rupees. So assume that all 3 units are operating and the minimum and maximum load of each unit is 50 and 300. Minimum you have to take 50. You cannot take 0. You cannot switch it off anyone. You have to take at least 50 and you can go at most 300. If the plant is operating at economic load dispatch, you want to have economic cost of operation generation, then the supply of the power demand of 700 megawatt, then the power generated by each unit. Now you see it is a 30 rupees per hour per megawatt hour. You see what is its cost, when it will reach 30 and when it will reach 30. Let us see. So because both these should have to have minimum 50, so first let me take all 3 50s because it has to have. So this is the minimum, you need to have all 50. P1 should be 50, P2 should be 50, more than 50 at least. So let me take all these are 50. This load will come to later, 700. So if it is at P3, its rate at 30 rupees per hour. If it is at P50, its rate is 30 plus 0.4 into 50 that is your 20, then it is 50 rupees per hour, then it is at 20 plus 0.3 into 50, that it is 35 rupees per hour. So obviously P3 is the cheapest. So if you increase more, if you want to go for more, this much you have to take. If you are increasing P1 and P2, then obviously the rates will always increase, because this is proportional to P1 and P2, IC1, IC2. So these will increase. So what is my intention? My intention is to take power with a minimum cost. So what I will do? I will take P3, because P3 is not changing. So I will take as much as I can from P3, because it is giving the cheapest rate. Because these will increase if I take power more from that. But it is giving it still at low cost than these two. I have to take this 50 because this much minimum I have to take. So I take as much as, if possible, I take everything from P3. Then what will happen? I will get at 30 rupees, which is the lowest, because here if I increase it will be more than 30. So obviously P3 I will take as much as I can. How much I can have up to 300 megawatt. So P3 I can go 300 megawatt. That I have to go at least. So P3 is 300, that means option A or B either. So once you reach P3 300, then your rest of the demands P1 plus P2, that because total demand was 700, so rest 400 will be supplied by P1 P2, and using that, satisfying that equal incremental cost criteria, that is 20 plus 0.3 P1 should be equal to 30 plus 0.4 P2. So you can solve this 1 and 2. If you solve 1 and 2, you will get P1 is equal to 242.85 and P2 is equal to 157.4. That means your option A. Now if you come to 83, a load center is at equidistance from the two thermal generating stations S1, G1 and G2 as shown in the figure. The fuel cord characteristics are given here, where P1, P2 are the generation of G1, G2. For most economic operation to meet 300, P1 plus P1 and P2. So they are at equal distance, means whatever transmission loss will be there, same transmission loss will be there. So you need to no need to consider at that whatever loss, because it is at so you will only see at the fuel characteristics. That means your P1 plus P2 should be equal to 300. That must be satisfied because this is the load, and their equal incremental cost criteria, that is dF1 by dP1 should be equal to dF2 by dP2. So this is, if you differentiate it, this is B plus 2CP1 should be equal to B plus 2CP2. So BB get cancelled, CC get cancelled. This is 4CP2. So you will have P1 by P2 is equal to 2:1 ratio. So you divide 300 in 2:1 ratio. No need to use formula also. You can, or you can take equation 2. If this is equation 1, you can solve. Or you can say if it is 2:1, then obviously P1 should be 200 and P2 should be 100. Now you check the ratings of the generators, whether they have given any upper limit or lower limit. No, there is no upper limit. The generators can generate any amount. So it can go up to 200 into 100. That is your option C. The incremental cost curves of the rupees per hour of the two generators supplying the common load of 700. Again, P1 plus P2 should be equal to 700. The maximum and minimum generation limit. Here maximum is 400, minimum is 150. Here maximum is 450, minimum is 200. The maximum and minimum, the optimum generation is when they will reach the optimum generations. Okay. From the options also you can try, or we can solve it also. Then you have to find this cost characteristic, because this is given as a point format. So you can, what is the coordinate of this point? 200, 450. What is the coordinate of this point? 450, 600. So you find the equations for IC1, IC2. Here it is coordinate is 150, 650, 400, 800. So straight line equation, two coordinates are given. So for IC1, y minus, this is IC1, this is I22. So what is the formula? Y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. Or should I write the formula? Y minus y1, this was the formula for 2-point formula of a straight line. So if you write it, IC1 minus 600, suppose if I take the first one, is equal to 600 minus 450 divided by, it can be y2 minus y1 or y1 minus y2, whatever. And then it will be 450 minus 200 into x minus 450. So if you solve it, you will find your IC1 is equal to 0.6 P1. This is actually x is here P1 plus 330. Similarly, if you go for IC2, it will be, so here IC2 will be equal to 0.6 P2 and then 560. So if you equate these two, the 0.6 P1 plus 330, so this is your equation 1 suppose, and another equation P1 plus, you can simplify it by taking this side dividing by, I am not doing that one, so this total is 700, this is equation 2. If you solve it, you will find your P1 is equal to 541.67 and P2 is equal to 158.33. Now don't give this as answer, you always check the generator limits, whether your generator can generate this one. If you see your generator 1, maximum limit is 450, you are going up to 541, so you cannot go because the generator cannot generate beyond 450, so you have to stop at 450. So obviously the rest of the amount will be given by the P2, that is 250. So this is your answer, that is your option C. Now again in 85, the lossless power system has to serve a load of this much. There are two generators, the system cost curve are given C1, C2. The P1, P2 injections of the generator G1 and G2, thus the minimum load dispatch, minimum cost dispatch will be same. Again P1 plus P2 you have to maintain 250, and then again incremental cost DC1 DP1 should be equal to DC2 DP2. So if you do this one, DC1 it will be 1 plus 0.110 P1 should be equal to 3 plus 0.06 P2. So this will be equation 2. So if you solve 1 and 2, this is 1, this is 2, then you will find P1 is equal to 100 and P2 is equal to 150. That is again option C. If you like the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.